Social media is a completely different communication architecture than the broadcast medias of radio and television that everybody else is so familiar with. It has in its inherent nature the ability for each person to be their own producer and their own consumer, to decide for themselves what kind of content they want to pay attention to and how they want to access it. And nobody at the center is making those decisions for anyone in social media. This is very disruptive, of course, of the broadcast media industry's business models, but it also has left millennials with a strong sense that expertise doesn't exist somewhere else. It doesn't exist with authority. It doesn't exist at the top of a hierarchy. Instead, wisdom is in the group, and what the group thinks is where millennials believe the truth lies.
So it is the technology that's important, but it's also a generation that is willing to use that technology in a united, unified way to really change things markedly. And if you compare that to, as Morley mentioned, the broadcasting of where a small group of people decide what everybody watches, what everybody they think is important, to an era where everybody can decide, everybody is their own programmer. It is just a remarkable change, as remarkable as anything we have seen for at least 500 years in human history.
Now, some people say, well, that's all theoretical and you're just making predictions for the sake of being provocative. But of course, it's actually already happened. Whenever millennials have had the power to make these kinds of changes, they've completely disrupted entire industries. Of course, social media is now driving the broadcast industry. So the way a show demonstrates its popularity is by measuring its trends in Twitter or its friends on Facebook. So it's changing on social media is changing everything else.
Because what it means is, again, that every individual can be his or her own programmer. They can watch or listen to or pay attention to, read, whatever it is, when they want to do it, and only those items that they want to pay attention to. They don't
and
have
in the case of mobile, where they want to do it.
Where they want to do it, exactly. So they don't have to wait till 8 o'clock to watch their favorite television show. They can watch whatever they want to watch. They don't have to watch what's before, what's after. In the TV business, lead in and lead out programming used to be important. Doesn't really matter that nearly as much anymore as it once did. On the other hand, some other channels, MTV for example, were pretty much mired in a different generational mindset and have had a lot more difficulty coping with it. And so those who understand the millennial generation will prosper in the decades ahead. Those that don't won't.